All right, I think that it seems like the list has started to slow down a little bit.
Hmm.
So I'm going to open the session up and welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to Teach for the Bay in their fifth year. You're here to see the career pathways for family, friend, and neighbor and nanny childcare providers. We have an amazing session starting for you, and there's also still a bunch of sessions available over the next few days. So please remember to sign up for more things in the coming days as well. I'd like to introduce our two speakers today. We have Nicole Kerbey, who is here from Foothill, and we have Alyce I'm so bad at your, I tried it a million times and I just messed it up again. Desrosiers, who's here for us as well today. So thank you both for helping to support, and I'm looking forward to hearing everything you have to teach us today too.
Everyone, welcome. Excuse my dog. All right. And I can't get my slides to advance. There we go. All right. So as Melise said, we're here to talk to you about the career pathways for family, friend, neighbor, and nanny childcare providers. This is everyone that falls outside of the traditional early childhood educator pathways or group care. We have some things to talk about. So we represent two different agencies. So Alyce is with TIFFN, which is the Institute for Family and Nannies, and I'm representing Foothill College. This is our Sunnyvale Center where our program is housed, and it's the home to child development, as well as some other programs at Foothill. Our main campus is in Los Altos Hills, California. So our objectives today are that we want to talk about how often family, friend, neighbor, and nanny childcare providers are actually overlooked. Traditionally in education, there hasn't been pathways for them. There hasn't been training programs in the US. And so we want to talk about that. And in this workshop, we're going to discuss a college career pathway that can support family, friend, neighbor, and nanny childcare providers. And we want to identify those unique challenges that we have in supporting them. Sometimes my slides like to advance and sometimes they don't. There we go. Alyce.
Okay, hello everybody. Nice to see many familiar faces here in the room. My name is Alyce DeRosier, and excuse me, just a little bit about me. I've always known I wanted kids to get the best care possible. I'm the second oldest of 9 in my family, and I learned very early on that it takes a village to raise kids. So after earning my master's in clinical social work and training at the infant parent program at UCSF, an opportunity came for me to satisfy these dreams. So a friend asked me to help her find a nanny. And I soon recognized that this segment of the childcare workforce is unlicensed, it's unregulated, and without the education or training supports provided to childcare providers working in licensed care. So I started my work in '96. And over the years, I've helped hundreds of families, thousands of nannies. I've written 3 books on the subjects, helping them find each other and make decisions to work together and to care together. In 2016, I founded the Institute for Families and Nannies, an organization that we fondly refer to as TIFFN, to build the supply of quality care by educating and training nannies. And of course, that also includes in this segment of the workforce those who are considering themselves to be grandparents, aunties, relatives, and neighbor caregivers to provide good care. Today, TIFFN offers 3 unique programs. One is our Nanny Pro Certification to Employment program. We have an infant-toddler caregiver training program, and this certificate in nanny, child, and family studies at Foothill College to offer nannies. I'm honored and very excited to be here today with Nicole. She's the chair of the Child Development Department at Foothill. It was Nicole that started this whole thing rolling. She was the one that spearheaded the certificate and navigated it through a very complex system to get approval at the California Department of Education. So because of the certificate, I've achieved my dreams, and I'm very honored again and so happy to have everybody here today to be learning more about this great certificate. So Nicole, jump in.
Yes, former nanny. That's fine. That's fine. Thank you, Alyce, for your kind introduction. And I don't think she takes enough credit for the certificate, but it was her that came to us and said, "Can we do something?" And I said, "I've been wanting to do something for so long. So yes, we can do something." So a little bit about me. I worked with children just as soon as I was able to. So I was a sitter and a Sunday school teacher and a youth group leader and a nanny. And then I was an infant caregiver, a toddler teacher, and a preschool teacher. And so while I was doing all this, I was earning my education. So at first I thought I was going to be an elementary school teacher. And then I switched tracks and got my master's degree in child development. I'm also a certified trainer for the program for infant-toddler care, and I'm a professional growth advisor. I work full-time at Foothill College. I am the department chair of child development and education, and I love leading students to be the best caregivers for children. All right. All right, we're going to mute you if you pop off. It's okay if it happens, but we're going to try to keep everyone on mute. So I have a question for you. If you have your phone available, would you mind going to this poll? So we want to know who our audience is today. What is your current role working with children? So if you could go on that and let us know, we're excited to see where everyone's at and where everyone's coming from. That would be so cool. All right. So perhaps your goal is to become a nanny or gain education to support the work that you're already doing. So again, this can be informally or formally, but we want to support your goals. Our recommendation would be that you take a look at our Certificate of Achievement in Nanny, Child, and Family Studies. You also could consider the Child Development AA, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I want to also know, have you taken child development classes before? So this is another poll, another opportunity for you to chime in about what you've taken so far. In the chat, we'll also try to include links to these so that you can answer either through your phone with the QR code or the link if you're on a computer today. And we'd love to hear more about that. All right, so what is the certificate? Our certificate is 20 units in total, and it was a partnership between Foothill College and Tiffin. We came together and we talked about the curriculum that we wanted to have represented, what we thought would be good options for nannies to have. We know that we've been teaching child development courses for a number of years, but that nannies just weren't represented as well as they should be, we think, in our courses. Our curriculum adapts to the NAEYC standards and competencies to unique work of nannies. So we're taking what we know is best for children based on research and based on these lovely bodies that are just a wealth of information on what quality practice looks like. And we're adapting them to the unique work of a nanny so that nannies are better informed about best practices when working with children. Our certificate is aligned with the required courses to earn an associate degree. So any of our courses in the nanny realm also can be used towards your degree, an AA with us. So that's pretty unique because it is a different path altogether, but we recognize that this could be your path. And so we want that to be part of your degree journey with us. The certificate also allows the holder to hold a child development teacher permit, or it will start with an assistant permit level. And so all of our courses that we have designed in our certificate will also allow you to work in a preschool environment should you make that choice. We are the first certificate in the US, and we designed it to meet the unique needs of working as a nanny. This is the only certificate that you can get that's recognized by higher education institutions. So to our knowledge, I don't know if anyone's come up behind us, Alyce, but we are the only ones that are out there that are offering this line of education. Graduates can migrate in and out of any form as their needs in the childcare market needs change. So by taking classes with us, you're actually meeting the needs of both group care as well as private care in the homes. So these are the 3 courses that we offer that are specifically for nannies. The numbering is just silly, but we chose Child 80A, 80B, and 80C. The first class is communication and self-reflection for practices for nannies. We offer that every fall. We have Child 80B, which is curriculum in the home. So it's just a 2-unit class, and we offer it every winter. And then finally, we have Child 80C, which is safety and nutrition of young children in the home. And it's a 1-unit class, and we offer it every spring. What's neat about those classes is we offer them all in hybrid formats so that you are learning over Zoom as well as online. So there's a lot of flexibility in your time and how you get those requirements met. So in addition to those courses, you can see that we took some courses that we already have that we think would be very beneficial for a nanny to have. We have Child 1, which is child growth and development. Our course covers prenatal through early childhood in that course. So it's the age that most nannies are likely to work with. Child 8 is child, family, and community. We find that class to be very relevant with nannies as they're working with families. We have Child 50D, which is infant and toddler development and care. And then finally, our last class, aside from those nanny courses, is Child 88B, which is positive behavior management. I can't tell you how many people we have dropping in to take that class with us, whether it's parents, grandparents, etc., because everyone's interested in why children behave the way they do and what we can do to make sure that we respond well. We offer classes, some of them are completely online, some of them are online with Zoom meetings, and some of them are online with occasional in-person meetings. All the courses in this particular certificate are usually those first 2 categories, so completely online or online plus Zoom. Our classes are definitely designed to support working individuals. So anytime we have a Zoom, it will be at night when most likely you are not working. We also offer free non-credit ESL courses to help you prepare for English instruction. So while right now all of our courses are offered only in English, we do have strong ESL supports so that you are ready to take those courses in English. You can decide how many courses you take at once. We do have a map for you, and I'll show you where you can get that to map out how you would go about taking the certificate, but you're in charge of how many courses you take at once. Whenever I get the question, how many should I take, Nicole? I say, well, I don't know what your life looks like, so it would be up to you to determine how much time you have to devote to this education. What does it cost? So classes cost $31 a unit, plus we do have some fees. Financial aid is very much available. As with most community colleges, we have a lot of different options for helping you make college affordable. So don't let money be a barrier, I say. As I mentioned, we offer free English courses. So if you're feeling nervous about starting college, I definitely recommend that you are accessing our free English courses. They have weekend classes. They also have evening classes, online classes. They're very much cognizant of a working individual. So if you wanted to take classes in English, we have those available to you. We also offer free tutoring and many other services to help you succeed. This is a QR code that gets you right to our Nanny, Child, and Family Studies webpage. I'd love for you to check out the information that we have there. And there's also links so that you can apply directly to the program should you choose to.
Okay, so Nicole, thank you very much. And I just also want to add to this that we actually didn't prepare this ahead of time, but I just wanted to make a comment that this last August, in preparation for the fall quarter, which started not too long ago, it's September, we've been working really closely with an incredible team from the Student Adult Services at Foothill and have worked out a process to enroll nannies into the certificate program, starting with an orientation, signing up, and all of the support that you need to do to not only sign up at the California Community College system, but then to go through step by step with support at the college to identify your educational plan, to be able to sign up for the courses that you want to take at that particular time, to learn all about financial aid, to apply for financial aid, for scholarships where they're available. And then we now have two of our Tiffin graduates from the program that are mentoring the students that are in the program. So again, all of this support is available for you with this when you sign up or when you have an interest in the nanny certificate. So I'm here to answer this big question, which is like, why a nanny certificate? Why don't I just go and get a certificate in child development, to be a child development teacher, or any other certificate that's being offered from this wonderful department? Well, the answer to that question is that caring for children in the family's home is different from caring for children that are in a preschool or a family daycare home. When you're working in a preschool setting or a family childcare home, then typically the philosophy and the curriculum is determined by the setting in which you work. So it may be defined, we're a Montessori school, we're Reggio Emilia, we're Waldorf. Also, care is for a group of children and generally by developmental stage. So even though the ratios, as an example, that are determined by the state and federal government is, say, 1 to 3 for an infant, then there may be up to, say, 12 infants or 8 infants within that group and being managed by the number of adults that is required by licensure to care for them. And then lastly, if there's unusual or difficult behavior that can't typically be managed by the teacher in the group, then it's generally resolved between the parent and the center director itself. So, Nicole, the next slide, please. Thank you. So when you're caring for children in the family home, one of the main differences, of course, is that care happens in the intimacy of the child's home and with parents that are actually your employer and your employer with whom you create a working or care partnership with. So, a key determinant of good care is having respectful, open communication with parents. It's also that when you create a curriculum for how care will happen with a child in their home, it includes not only what happens in the home, but also what happens in the community and who you connect with in the community. So it may be story time at the library. It may be in the parks and the playgrounds, in the museums, or in the community centers within. So there is a relationship, a close interrelationship between care that happens between the home and the community. And lastly, the health and safety guidelines are unique as well as personalized when you're caring for a child in a home. Just as a simple example, that emergency procedures are idiosyncratic to the home, where it is, what the location, what the layout is of the home, what equipment and supplies that the family has, as well as to who is the physician, who is the doctor, where are the hospitals, where is the emergency room. Also specific dietary guidelines that parents may have for their children, as well as something as obvious and straightforward as how to safely drive children, how do you safely navigate them to all of the activities in the community, and something as simple as how do you get an infant or a child in and out of a car seat when you're driving them to activities. And these are the unique curriculum. This is the content that's included in the unique curriculum in the certificate. So who enrolls in this certificate? Like, who are these folks? And so, we've been doing this since 22 and supporting nannies to achieve their dreams of really going to college and earning a certificate or a degree and advancing in their nanny careers. Although, and I should say that those who are applying generally identify themselves in their current role as a nanny, that the majority of those have also cared for children. They've been grandparents, their aunties, their relatives, their neighbors, and of course their parents. Many of them were not born in the US, and they came to this country to earn a better life for themselves as well as for their children. And many have worked for years as a nanny. They've learned a new language, they supported their children to have a good education, and now really it's their time. They start college late as adult learners, many of them with only a high school education. Now it's their time. For those who have gone through and earned their certificate, several have, and many will continue on to earn their bachelor's degree. We did a study that was supported by the San Mateo County Childcare Partnership Council. We did this in 22, and I just bring this up just as an example of the workforce that's in San Mateo County. 92% have at least 6 years of a nanny experience. So, there's a very strong likelihood that those who are going to be your colleagues in this program have many years of nanny experience. Many of them, 79%, were not born in the US. 33% have a high school education only. And in this particular study, we're wanting to know how many are interested in having a certificate available to them at Foothill College. And 91% said that they would be very interested. And why? As this one person points out, I'd be able to provide the best care for children if I had resources that support continuing my education. Will the nanny certificate advance my career? Well, excuse me, everyone wants to make sure that if I do this, what am I going to get out of all of this? Because it does require time and effort to go through this program, any education program. So of course, it improves your opportunity to find work. What we have seen consistently and more so is that parents are increasingly looking for childcare providers that have child development education plus experience. Secondly, you have the potential to earn more with a certificate. And we do find that those who are getting education and training definitely are considered to be better. And for many, they do earn more. Certificate offers a pathway, as Nicole had pointed out, that allows you to work in licensed care. And as a result, it gives you a lot of flexibility. You can receive the education and training for the unique work as a nanny, or if you choose that you want to work in a preschool or in a family daycare, then you have the credentials to be able to do that. So this flexibility is super, super important for nannies to be recognized as being a valued early care educator in any form of care that they choose to work in. The value added benefit is based on the fact that we all know that if you're working as a nanny, you're working alone with a child, and it can be isolating. That being part of others like you opens a door to a world of possibilities and friends. And enrolling in the certificate puts you in a group of other learners that share their experiences, ideas, challenges, and solutions. We have, Nicole didn't mention this, but Jen Perez, who is teaching these courses at Foothill College, she actually developed and wrote the curriculum along with two others. And she is the one that, of course, is teaching it. She worked as a nanny. She worked in a preschool. She did home-based care. She did a variety of different roles. So if you enroll in the certificate and you get into Jen's class, then you'll be one amongst others like you.
So we have a QR code about that gives access to our main website, our child development education website, with our different pathways, degrees, certificates that are all available to you. My email address is there, and I can also drop it in the chat, because if you're interested in getting started with us, I can definitely help you with that. You can also come and find us on Instagram too. I'm always popping up just free training opportunities like Teach for the Bay on our social media accounts. So you can always follow us there.
Yeah, and I also want to encourage everybody, we put the links to both the poll as well as the question of have you tried child development classes before? We put those in the chat. I don't see very many people that have actually filled it out. So I'm going to put it in again at the bottom of the chat so everyone can have access to it, and would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. I've actually left a couple of comments on people who have chimed in about whether they've tried child development classes before. And someone said, yes, they have a BA in liberal studies. And I just made a note that I also have my BA in liberal studies. But I actually found that they didn't really prepare me for child development and really understanding the child. They really wanted me to have a breadth of knowledge. I think I took 5 science classes. And so going back to child development helps us really understand, especially the young child, and a lot of other programs won't prepare us for that. And Monica said that she has taken too many classes to count in child development. So I'm just very specific, very interested to find out if she has had any nanny specific coursework done before. So that was a note that I left to Monica. So we'd love to see more comments on there. And if you have some information you would like to share with us about what classes you have taken, or who you are and what you are currently doing. Rhonda, I see in the chat you're asking, how long does the certificate take to complete? This question is a little bit difficult just because it depends on how many classes you take at once. So you could easily, if you were taking 1 to 2 classes a quarter, you could do it in a school year. Our nanny classes, those specific ones, are offered every quarter. So we have our fall, our winter, and our spring quarters. At Foothill, we are a quarter system, 12-week long courses. So you could take those nanny classes first, and then you could jump into other child development coursework from there, or you could take more than one class at a time. And it really depends on how much time you have in your life and how much you want to devote that time to your education. That is going to depend, greatly on how long it will take you overall. Awesome. So we have someone who's studying at City College in San Francisco. That's really neat. And if you are taking classes somewhere else and you're just still interested in our nanny classes, you can take classes at multiple colleges. You do not have to take all of your classes at one college. So if you recognize some of the classes that I listed in that certificate, but you don't have nanny options at your City College of San Francisco, feel free to join us for just those courses.
And those courses would be transferred over to whatever program that they're getting, Nicole?
Well, it depends on if they would recognize us. So our nanny classes won't get you a certificate at the college that you are at currently, because they don't have nanny classes, but we might be able to count some of the courses that you are taking at other colleges towards your certificate with us. Yeah, Monica.
Hi, ladies. I just wanted to
Hi.
say thank you so much for this presentation. I'm a high school teacher, but the classes that I teach are to introduce the education field to students and perhaps build that role of or that new wave of teachers coming in. And I just have to thank you, because I've never in my years of teaching have brought forward the nanny position to my students. It's almost just completely just never crossed my mind. I talk about, going into the ECE field and becoming public school teachers, but nannies, programs for nannies are so important, because we have so many people who are teaching young children in the home. So I just wanted to thank you for opening my eyes. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Nicole, I jumped off what you were saying. Thank you, Monica, for bringing that up. I think it reinforces what we all know here, that nannies are the unrecognized and unseen members of the childcare workforce, and often considered, their work is considered to be more like babysitting. They're just watching kids. When in fact, we know that parents, particularly parents with infants and toddlers, are use this form of care either out of preference because their needs fall outside of the traditional work hours that a childcare center or family daycare home is open, or they need additional hours to supplement the care that their children are in licensed care, evenings, weekends, holidays, etc., or because they have no choice, because there is actually no opening in licensed care available for them. I'll share one statistic that I know is in San Francisco, 85% of families with an infant and toddler have difficulty or cannot find an opening in licensed care. So if you're a mom, 3 months going back to work, or even 6 weeks going back to work, you can't find an opening in a childcare center. Literally, I know well, they put their child on a waiting list, hoping something will come up, and likely it doesn't until the child is 2.5 years old. Well, that family, in order for that parent to go, both parents to go back to work, then they need to find care. If they have a grandma around, or an aunt, or a relative, or a next door neighbor, they cobble together whatever care that they can. But most likely, they're going out into the open market. They're going on care.com. They're going to Urban Sitter. They're going to nanny placement agencies looking to find childcare. And who are these people that are caring for potentially up to 85% of infants and toddlers? Those who we call nannies. So it's something that this particular certificate, as well as uplifting an unrecognized segment of the workforce, is vitally needed to be able not only to uplift them to find work, but to be able to build the supply of care to meet the demand, as well as to ensure quality care.
And I wanted to highlight just that COVID has changed how people find care. And for a number of families, group care is still not something that's comfortable for them. And so I saw the need for nannies and the desire for private childcare providers to go greater. So I definitely think that we're on the right track just by recognizing this. I worked as a nanny myself, and there was no formal education. There was nothing to go for. Countries in Europe, that is not the case. There are nanny programs that you graduate from in order to be considered a qualified person. And we're a little behind the times there. And we just want to make sure that nannies are being uplifted as the professionals that they are, and that they're also given an outlet to coordinate with other people. I went from a family of 4 children. They were ages like 5, 3, and then newborn infant twins. I went from that family. I got them through the first year, and then their needs shifted, and I went to go work for another family, and I went down to working with one newborn. And working with one newborn after a busy household was a very lonely experience for me. So I have to say that if I had the opportunity to take nanny classes and to talk about what I was experiencing and what I was doing with this child, would have been a great opportunity for me. So if anyone is a nanny and finds themselves a little bit lonely because you don't have coworkers, this is an opportunity to talk about your practices and to learn new ones. So it becomes a place where we can collaborate and we can share. All right. Other questions in the chat? You're welcome to put in the Padlet or in the chat. I'm accessing those. Skyline College do have child development classes, but to my knowledge, they don't have any that are specific to nannies right now, if that's your question, Rosa. Yeah, and what's neat about our program is you don't even have to live in our state in order to benefit from it, is that because we offer everything on Zoom. Even if you are closer to another college, but you're interested in our classes, then you definitely can still join us. And the community college system has made it really easy that if you've initially applied to one college, it's really easy to then also apply to another college. The application process is streamlined.
Yeah, and I do want to also mention that Foothill has been super great and being able to offer opportunities for you to take this certificate either at no cost or very low cost through applications for financial aid as well as through scholarships that are available. So I really one of the things that we have learned over these very short few years is that a lot of nannies really want to take the program, but we hear concerns coming up all the time. Can I afford it? Is it going to be online, or do I have to go into a classroom? And also, I've not been to college before. You know, how can am I ready to start taking college classes? And or my language skills are really not as great as I want them to be. Are my skills good enough for me to be able to read college course material or to be able to understand what assignments are? All of these, we have supports for you. And for some of our students that are starting this quarter, they decided to just start with an ESL class. Foothill has a class, ESL for parents, so that you're able to learn an English language in the context of what is most important to you, taking care of children as a parent. So there are options, there are opportunities for you. If you fall into that category of not feeling ready or unsure of how ready you might be, we have ways of being able to support you to get you where you want to go.
I'm just answering questions in the chat. We have some great ones about specific transferring units. And Kathleen has also posted evaluation things. I will actually have a slide for that next. Here you go. Here's the evaluation in QR form if you wanted to do that. Any other questions? Feel free to keep asking them. We're hanging out here. If you wanted to reach me directly, I will put my email address in the chat once more so that you can ask those questions directly to me. And if I don't know the answers to some of your questions, I can get people involved at Foothill, including counselors, admission specialists, and things like that. So anything that you need to know, we can find out for you. Awesome.
I'll also put my email address here. So feel free to reach out and ask me any questions that you might have about this particular program or any of our other programs.
Yeah, we want nannies to not feel so isolated out there. Monica, are you teaching around us in the Bay Area or?
I'm actually in the Monterey County area, so I'm quite far away, but I'm interested in going and looking at what you have to offer at Foothills, because I can definitely promote your college and your program in my classroom, because my students, even though we're here in the Bay Area or in the Monterey County area, they love the idea of going out to the Bay and being in San Francisco and San Jose. They think it's so wild and crazy. So I could definitely see some of my students succeeding out there.
Wild and crazy.
Wild and crazy, because you know we're a very small little town here, so they want to get out.
Absolutely. Well, very neat. Yeah, we've found that we're actually quite popular as a dual enrollment program. So we have partnerships with high schools in our area. So we're teaching classes to high school students right from the get-go. So we have a great partnership with some of them in our area. Are you working with a college near you to do that too?
We do have some dual enrollment classes, but nothing nothing as far as like our ECE program right now. So I will be definitely sharing Tiffin with my bosses and seeing how we can get connected, because again, I'm overwhelmed with the information that you've given me, and you've opened my eyes. Thank you.
Hmm.
So, and thank you, Monica, for sharing this and really supporting nannies in your community. Nicole, Nohelia just wrote into the chat, and I think maybe this would be a better question for you to be answering. She's Nohelia is a student in the program, has been now I think 2 years. Wonderful. And she's asking whether the certificate would qualify her to work as a teacher. So maybe you can answer that question.
Yeah.
Directly.
I was typing to you as you started
Oh,
this.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We can talk about it out loud because more people might be interested. So the units that you're earning with us will definitely count in early childhood education. So working with infant through preschoolers, those definitely help you to meet the licensing requirements of those ages. If you wanted to work in elementary school, yes, you could definitely earn a degree with us and then transfer to get your bachelor's degree and your teaching credential. Okay, so elementary school requires a multiple subject teaching credential. Secondary school, so middle school or high school, they require that you have a single subject credential. So definitely you can start with us. You can keep going. You can get a transfer degree with us or an AA and then move on to a university. So absolutely part of your path, but if you're looking beyond the early childhood, you definitely need to keep going. Does that answer your question, Nohelia? Ooh, this got tricky. Okay. Awesome. Anybody else have questions? Feel free to ask. Can be kind of tricky navigating our different education systems. And I also find that people that are coming from outside the US and are just starting to look at higher education, it can be very tricky to figure out what your path is and how we have divided things up in higher education along the way. Many ways to get to the same place or different places. Yeah. Awesome. Can take you on our tour of our websites if you're interested. So we can take a look at some of the links that I had for you there. So this is the Foothill College, the Nanny, Child, and Family Studies webpage in particular. So on here, we share with you a lot of the same information that you saw in our presentation today, our nanny-specific courses, how to apply to the college and for financial aid. And then here's a list of those classes for the certificate. So many people were asking about classes that they took in other schools. So probably child growth and development would be a common one, child, family, and community, maybe your infant-toddler. So these classes are ones that were traditionally made for group care and which we think still have very relevant information for nannies in them, especially that positive behavior. And then we have those nanny classes tucked in there. Counselors can help you. You can make an appointment with the counselor to find out how previous work is done. I made reference to a program map. If you click on that right there, it will show you kind of a plan for taking these classes with us. So you can see that we map out which courses we would recommend in which sequence. So this is a 1-year plan in which you start with that 80A and then 8. And then in the winter, which is just after the new year, taking 1 and 80B. And in the spring quarter, taking 50D, that 80C course, and that behavior course. Yeah, and Alyce dropped this link, so we'll get you to this previous page right there. So I try to make these web pages easy to navigate. There's lots of information on here about getting started, about all of our programs, etc. Did someone come off of mute to maybe ask something? That's a good point, Rosa. And talking about work ethics, you know, I think comes up in most classes that you teach as a nanny, and discussing, you know, difficulties and things with people who are also in the same field as you. It's definitely a good opportunity to talk about those work ethics. Yeah.
Let me just say something a little bit about that, Nicole, because you know, having worked with a lot of nannies and parents, you know, there's a tricky thing that has to happen. Um, we'll call them boundaries, or we'll call, you know, where's the line? Um, you're working in the parent's home, and which is super private. It's super personal. For many nannies, they are part of a family's life that can include some things that are wonderful, such as birthday parties, and some things that are perhaps you never really wanted to see or hear or be part of, but you are. So knowing when to step in when you are in your role, and when to step away is always a challenge. Not just excuse me, in general, but for every family that you work with. Challenges happen all the time. If a child, as an example, simple one, he wants candy, a cookie in the middle of the day. And as many parents are now, they're working from home. So mom is around, she's in the kitchen, or dad's around, and the child says, I want, you know, I want a cookie or candy. And if the expectation is and has been clear between the nanny and the parent, well, no treats between meals, and or certainly nothing high in sugar. The nanny might turn around and say no, and then the parent may jump in ahead of time and say, sure, you can. So, you know, what happens? Like, who's in charge? These kinds of very tricky situations happen all the time. The other is, which is a challenge because, you know, parent is your team player. You guys are figuring out how care will happen. And at the same time, she's paying your rent. She's writing your paycheck. So, you know, how much do you assert your opinion when your opinion may be perceived as crossing the line? And then the worry happens, am I going to lose my job? So these kinds of tricky situations happen all the time. And they're not just with a singular family. So once you learn it, you got it. It's every family that you work with is going to have a different dynamic that you have to learn to navigate. So being in a environment, a learning environment where everybody is sharing their challenges, offering different ideas, what works, what doesn't work, and being with someone who is really helping to navigate what's the best way forward for everyone is so helpful and vitally important. It does get to what Rose has brought up. It involves work ethics, but it also involves really being very clear about where you stand vis-a-vis the parents who are your employers, as well as vis-a-vis the child that you have learned to love, as for many feel it's as their own family. So again, this is being in an environment where others are like you, sharing similar experiences, and having an opportunity to be thinking about it with others in a safe environment is super helpful.
Yeah, no, Helia, you had a question? She got distracted.
Yeah. No, Haley, you had your hand up. Maybe you need to go off mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am talking and I'm here like my microphone. Sorry, it's my computer is a little mess today. So, I want to say like this one is like a big chance. It's a big opportunity to like a nanny, keep going and have a knowledge for the babies. And I think so. This is a good way for like a feel. It's a better way to learning. So I think so like this is a big chance and a big opportunity for everybody. I am take classes already and I feel like this one is amazing because it's expand the view how you look the baby and how take care the baby. I think so like if honestly like is this one is my dreams and I want to keep going. Right now I am almost finished the 20 unit, but I want more because I know like this one is the way like a learning. So thank you so much and thank you Alyce, thank you the others for this opportunity for us like a nanny.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you can keep going. I'd love to see you continue on. So we have a list. We have 7 different certificates. We have 4 different degrees. So we're always trying to support whatever way you want to go next. So after you take those classes, you might get the bug, like Noelia does, to keep learning more about children and about families. And that's great. And I think that families will very much appreciate the effort that you're putting in to learn more. I even known of families in the past that will pay for child development courses. So if for whatever reason financial aid doesn't work out, maybe that's something that you could build into the contract. I don't know if Alyce would probably know more about that, but I've just known that that's part of a contract that nannies have gotten from families or with families in the past.
Well, it is the case, and I know there are many nannies that are here in this meeting. If you're interested in continuing your education in any way, then parents can take a a um, a, a, a deduction from the taxes that they pay you to pay for your education and your training. So if you are under contract with a family, you're paying taxes on the amount of money that you're earning, then definitely you can approach the family to have them pay for your education and training as a non-taxable benefit. And I can give you some information. Maybe I can get it now before we stop and put it in the chat so that you can, excuse me, use that link and present it to your employers so that they can contribute towards your education, whether it's in a formal college setting or otherwise.
Awesome. So people are saying goodbye as they're getting their questions answered, and you're more than welcome to do that. But also we will remain here if you have any further questions.
And we will be sending out the recording as well as the slides so that you'll have all of the links to this information in your inbox by tomorrow.
Awesome. I wish everything worked like that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I registered for the classes. It's been kind of challenging going through the websites and trying to get on the classes and stuff. But right now I have registered for 3 classes. How realistic is for me in terms of, I don't know, work or just to take the 3 classes at the same time? Is this possible? It's like, because I have a full-time job and a family at home.
Yeah. So I mean, that's always what I say back to my students is what are your other demands in life? And you want to be able to do the classes well, and you want to not drive everybody crazy while you're doing the classes, right? So you need to find that right balance. Many of my students are taking 1 to 2 classes at a time. And so it might take you a little bit longer, but that will probably be for the benefit of you, your family and the family that you're working for if you do take it a little bit slower. So depending on the course, our courses are of different sizes. Our nanny classes are pretty small. They're just a couple of units here and there. And we really designed that so that they would be kind of smaller chunks to take so that you're not overwhelming yourself. So Raquel, you're just going to have to decide how much time do I have to devote to this? And, would it be in my best interest to spread them out more or to take them all at once? And it really isn't kind of an individual decision.
Okay. And for some of the classes, they don't have a specific time. When do you get to know when it's gonna happen?
Yeah, so you should be getting alerts from your teacher. I don't want to overwhelm everybody here, but I'm going to show you just really quick our course schedule. So every quarter we have this is just our child development classes here, which is kind of nice. So instead of going to the big college system, you get kind of a cheat sheet of just child development courses here. So you can see how the course is offered. So this one is a hybrid course. You can see that some of it is going to be in person in a classroom and some of it's going to be online. And so Maria, your instructor, will contact you before the class begins. You can see that our start date here, and you can see when the class is going to conclude. And so this is a normal 12-week spanning course. So there's a lot of information just provided here in the schedule, but it does take some time to learn how to read learn how to read these. It is a little bit complicated. So every class is a little bit different because we recognize that our students definitely have different needs. And so we're trying to meet those needs at all times. And so we're offering a variety of different ways of doing things. So Maria offers one section as a hybrid, and then she offers one section fully online. So if you ever have an online class that says TBA like this, then you are getting prompted in your email to log in starting the first day of class. And then we introduce everything to you there within the Canvas system. Okay, so every class is just a little bit different in how it goes. I can scroll all the way down to 80B just to see or 80A to see how things are going. That's our nanny specific course. So you can say communication and self-reflection for nannies. It is still technically open and it hasn't started yet. So if you are inspired to, you can actually get into this class. You would need to apply and you would need to contact Jennifer right away so that you can get added to the course. It is going to be a hybrid course, and you can see that we have Friday and Saturday meetings. The dates are listed down here so you can see. So what we do is we offer it in a Friday night and then a Saturday morning. So we do 3 weekends typically over the quarter, and it's Friday night and then Saturday the next day for the morning time. And then there's going to be some online work in between. All right, so that's just a little snapshot of things. And if you wanted some help, Raquel, with the specific classes that you are signed up for and what's going on there, I can help you with that. We do have, you want to look at this information here so you do get some clues about how and when you are going to be accessing that class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And it matters the order of how you take the classes, or not really?
So we leave it up to you. I would encourage you, if you are coming in fresh and you're taking already some classes, but if somebody is coming in fresh, I would recommend that you start with one of the nanny courses, because I think it's going to help you feel like you're there with other people just like you, right? So it's going to feel like a place that is just a belonging place. So start with the nanny course and kind of go from there. We do have late start classes so that if you're in a nanny course and you decide that you want to add more, you can add a later class to your schedule. And because our quarters are just 12 weeks long, before you know it, the next quarter is here and it's time to sign up for the next quarter. So it'll get going quickly once you're in and going. But ADA would be a good place to start. Any of the nanny classes would be a good place to start. I also can advise you personally if you want to contact me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I see that we're really at time, Nicole and
Mhm.
Alyce. So any parting comments before we close out the session?
I want to thank everybody for attending today and thank you both so much for your time and bringing such amazing information to everyone. And it's very exciting to hear what everyone is looking to learn from your program. So thank you so much. I learned a lot and I'm very excited about it myself. So please fill out the survey, anyone who's left on here, if you haven't already, and the recording will be posted and sent out. So thank you so much.
And I also wanted to thank everybody here. Many of you I know and have known over the years. So wonderful that you joined us here today. Wonderful to see you, and as well as all the new faces that came as well. So just keep on and achieve your dreams.
I love it. Thank you, Alyce. Thank you, Alyce, for joining us today and for helping guide our workshop. I'm available to anyone who wants to reach out with further questions about your education, and I look forward to seeing you at Foothill.
All right. Okay to be ending the meeting then, I think, for everybody. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys.
Take care.